Okay. So our last speaker is Michael Mercredi, who is from Fort Chipewan, Alberta, and he's a member of the Athabaska Chippewan First Nation. So Michael is very interesting because he previously worked in tar sands in Alberta, but now he's working with the Athabaska Chippewan First Nation to campaign against tar sands, and he's a very powerful speaker, so I welcome him. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Ariel. Yeah, my name is Mike Mercredi. I'm from Fort Chipewan, Alberta. I'm a member of the Athabaska Chippewan First Nations. I recently moved back to Fort Chip within the last year, last July. Before that, I worked in tar sands. The pictures you saw earlier of the heavy haulers that Ariel had up, I used to drive those. I did that for 4 years. Before that, I did small odd jobs within the tar sands. I worked out there for about 10 years. I started off doing contract work out there with various companies and stuff like that. And growing up in that area, I was actually born in Fort McMurray. And I raised in Fort Chip because they had no hospital services in Chip to bear children, I guess. Anyways, growing up in Fort McMurray, you get conditioned right from high school to work in these places. So a lot of the kids, some of them don't even go to university. They get right from grade 10. There's a co-op program they have that they run. And they put the kids through this, and they go work in there like once or twice a week. So like grade 10 and 11, by the time they graduate from grade 12, the company's got them. They got the taste for making the money from being a summer student, and from there, that's it. They're in there. They're gone. They go in to go to a trade, or else someone. There's a few that do come back and actually work in there, who get degrees, but that's only the work for them, right? So some of them do learn about some of these things, and the money there, like how it got me, keeps them there. And it takes a lot for someone just to come and leave it, like I did. I quit. I walked off the job. It was a friend of mine who I was speaking with, and she had a very hard time actually working in there. But her family lives there, and the cost of living is very expensive there. So she had to get the job. She had to work there. She didn't know what else she can do. So when she was in there, and she called me from her truck, from her heavy hauler, and she was bawling her eyes because she was working on overburden, which is removing the topsoils. And some of this, they actually pull the trees right out of the ground. They don't clear cut. They actually dig them right out. And I seen this myself. I seen it. I went into overburden. They used to keep me right in the pit, the tar sands, so you never really seen anything. And when I started hearing about the cancer effects in Chip and stuff like that, and I was like, what's going on up there? There's got to be something happening and stuff like that. And here I am listening to the news, and I'm hearing this. Or else I get a phone call from Fort Chip saying, there's another person being diagnosed with cancer. Now, how this hit home for me was that my Uncle Tony died. He died from cancer. There's no known cancers in our family. None whatsoever. There's no sicknesses. There's no anything. Our family's pretty healthy. We've been living like that for generations. And all of a sudden, this generation gets cancer. My Uncle Tony spoke against the tar sands in 1992 and campaigned against it. And within 15 years, died from it, became a victim of it because he lived in Fort Chip. He ate the foods and did what a lot of people are doing. Some people actually don't get sick, which is, I'm not sure why. Some of them don't always eat the food, don't always drink the water. Some of them actually have been looking after themselves. And some of the elders actually don't even worry about it anymore because they had their time. So if they die from cancer, they're going to die from cancer. And for us as younger people, it gives us the strength to kind of go, okay, we don't want that happening to us. I buried my auntie earlier this year from cancer. She was diagnosed a couple of years ago, and now she's gone. Actually, it was earlier last year, sorry. And also in January of last year, we buried a guy. He was 27 years old. He died from cancer. And that's younger than me. I also got right now an auntie living with cancer. So as you can see how this would affect me and make me quit and turn around and go, and just leave and started speaking against them. So a lot of stuff I had to get my facts straight and learn what exactly was going on and learn what this doctor was talking about because I didn't know. Because I was living in Fort McMurray, so I didn't really have an idea. I was making the money, so the first time I heard about it, I kind of turned a blind eye and said, okay, whatever. And then I started hearing about it again. And all of a sudden I heard about it again. And then I buried somebody. It was a friend. So then I started hearing about more and more cases each time. So after you hear about it enough times, it gets in your head, and you're like, holy gee, something's really happening here, something's going on. So I left. So I got out of there. And they have this shift, what they call is 3 days, 3 nights. I did my 3 days, and I said, I'm leaving, I'm quitting, and I'm not coming back tomorrow. They actually they laughed at me. They laughed at me for quitting Syncrude, because Syncrude is the #1 company in Canada, and everybody who works for them is like, oh, that's it. I'm in it now. I'm making the money, and that's it. But it's a lie. A lot of these people, even with 2 jobs in Syncrude, have a hard time to get their stuff together in Fort McMurray because it's so expensive to live there. A lot of things they're saying about reclamation of everything they're doing in repairing the land, it's a lie. They're not. You've seen those pictures there like this. This is just a small section of an area. Syncrude has quadrants, and this would be a really small quadrant of what they're doing out there. They had recently, in the last year, they approved an area where they said was reclaimed, and it was a very small area. It's like, say if you took this whole area was a patch they did. This is right there. That little spot would be what they call reclaimed, and they bragged about it. They bragged about it, saying that, yeah, we're capable of doing this after 30 years of mining, that this is what we're doing. And if you go there, there's nothing that lives there. There's just some grass that grows and trees they planted, so they're saying it's reclaimed. And they boast on and saying that they're going to repair the land. Repair the land either just as it was or even better. Like even better, they have fens and muskegs that take thousands of years to form, and they're telling us they're going to make it better in the next 50 years. And I started talking about it publicly that although they have areas reclaimed, none of it was ever approved by the environment, by Alberta Environment. Within 3 months, Alberta Environment approved one little section. And I was thinking I should have kept my mouth shut. But coming from that and going back home and working there, what I started doing was gathering traditional environment knowledge and traditional land use studies, was interviewing our elders and getting to know what the land was all about, getting to know what was in there, what was still left on the land, what we're still using, document this stuff, and hopefully archive it for our future. When I started thinking about the archiving of it, I kind of found it ridiculous. I found it ridiculous because why would I want to learn about the land on a computer when I can go out there and live on it and learn from an elder? You know, this is like, here, document what you guys have now, because we're taking it all away from you, and we're going to strip everything. So it was boggling for me at first, because like, why would I want to go and do that when I can go live on it? Just last month, our First Nations took the Alberta government to court for failing to have a consultation with us, and it was a judicial review. Now, we couldn't go after the industry because industry is regulated by the Alberta government, Alberta Environment. So, but they were regulating what they were doing and allowing them to do so. So we took the Alberta government to court and challenged them. And being back home and watching our people die, and the government allowing them to people die, and industry telling us that everything's okay, that nothing's really happening there, that the stuff that Dr. O'Connor said was just a hype, it was a false, that there's nothing really going on. He got charged with 4 charges, and 3 of them were dropped except 1, which was raising undue alarm. And they want to try to make that stick, which is why he left Fort Chip. He left there because of what they did to him. And basically, he's Fort Chip's martyr. He sacrificed his career for us. He sacrificed his career so the people would know, and the people would go out and fight against it, which is something I'm doing now. And what was happening out there, as I've said before, and I'll say it again, it's genocide. They're allowing them to kill us off. People are dying. I'm burying my family to this, like a yearly basis. Our community members are dying weekly, monthly, and that's genocide. You're now dying every day and killing by the hundreds a day, but they're still killing them in our own country. And in the country of Canada, this place here, your own countrymen, our government's allowing them to die. And when I came here tonight, and I'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming out here, because all it tells me is that when I was hearing you guys introducing yourselves and stuff you guys are doing in the university here, I'm impressed. I'm glad that you guys came out.